Hi, this is Hari Krishna. In this video, I am going to discuss about test of hypothesis for small samples. A sample is said to be small sample if the size of the sample is less than 30. Next, we define the degree of freedom. The degree of freedom is a number which indicates how many variables we have to choose independently and is given by the formula capital V equals to n minus 1, where n is the size of the sample. Next, confidence interval for small sample is given by x power minus t alpha by 2 into s divided by root n, comma x power plus t alpha by 2 into s divided by root n, where x bar is the mean of the sample, s is the standard deviation, n is the size of the sample. T alpha by 2 is the value we take from T distribution table, and in this part T alpha by 2 into S divided by root n is called as standard error or maximum error. Now we take an example. Find the 95% confidence interval limits for the mean of a normally distributed population for which the following sample was taken: 15, 17, 10, 18, 16, 9, 7, 11, 13, 14. Now, if you observe, the size of the sample is 10, which is less than 30. So, it is a small sample. Given confidence is 1 minus alpha is 95%, that equals to 0.95, implies alpha equals to 1 minus 0.95, that equals to 0.05, and alpha by 2 equals to 0.025. To evaluate the confidence interval, we have to find mean and standard deviation. Now, mean of the sample is given by 1 by n into summation I equals to 1 to n xi, where n is the size of the sample. Here it is 10. So, sum of the numbers divided by total number, that gives the mean of this sample. And the variance is given by s square equals to 1 divided by n minus 1 into summation I equals to 1 to 10 xi minus x bar whole square. Now evaluating this variance, that gives the value 40 divided by 3. Here t alpha by 2 is 1.96. We take this from t distribution table with the degree of freedom n minus 1 equals to 9. Now evaluating the standard error, E equals to T alpha by 2 into S divided by root n, that equals to 2.26. Now the confidence limits are x plus or minus standard error, that equals to 10.74, 15.26. Now take another example. A sample of size 10 was taken from a population with standard deviation of sample 0.03. Find the maximum error with 99% confidence. Here, the size of the sample is 10, which is less than 30, so it is a small sample. We have to find standard error, that is E equals to T alpha by 2 into S divided by root n. Here given standard deviation sigma or S equals to 0.03. The confidence is 99%. So 1 minus alpha is the confidence, that equals to 99%, implies alpha equals to 0.01, alpha by 2 equals to 0.05. Just substituting the corresponding values. Here the degree of freedom is n minus 1, that is 9. Now t alpha by 2 equals to 3.25 from tables. Now standard error E equals to 3.25 into 0.03 S divided by root n, that gives 0.0308. Now observe another problem. Here also we have to evaluate the standard error of the sample of size 11 with mean 3.92 and standard deviation 0.61. We have to evaluate 95% confidence limits. So first evaluating the standard error, then the confidence interval is x bar minus e comma x bar plus e. Here standard error e equals to t alpha by 2 into s divided by root n. Here t alpha by 2 equals to 2.22. We get from the table. Here the degree of freedom is n minus 1, that is 10. Now in our problem, given sigma standard deviation 0.61, mean x bar equals to 3.92, and confidence is 1 minus alpha equals to 95%, implies alpha by 2 equals to 0.025. Just by substituting these values, we get standard error e equals to 0.40979, and the confidence interval is x bar minus e comma x bar plus c, that equals to 3.92 minus 0.409, 3.92 plus 0.409, that gives 3.511 comma 4.329. Now for small samples to test the hypothesis, we have some important tests: student t-test, f-test and chi-square test. Now first take the student t-test. We have three different models in student t-test: t-test for single mean, t-test for difference of means, paired t-test. Now take the first one. If you observe, in this test, the test statistic is given by t equals to x bar minus mu divided by s divided by square root of n minus 1. Here x bar is the mean of the sample, mu is the mean of the population, s is the standard deviation, and n minus 1 is the degree of freedom, where n is the size of the sample. If the standard deviation is not specified, we have to evaluate standard deviation by using this formula. In that case, we have to take the test statistic t equals to x bar minus mu divided by s divided by root n. That means in a problem, if we are given the standard deviation, we have to take this statistic. If not given, we have to take this test statistic, and first of all we have to evaluate that standard deviation by using this formula. Now take an example problem. This is the problem. A sample of 26 bulbs given a mean life of 990 hours with standard deviation of 20 hours. The manufacturer claims that the mean life of bulbs is 1000 hours. Is the sample not up to the standards? Now if you observe, the main manufacturer claims that the life of the bulb is 1000 hours. That means this is the population mean, and the sample of 26 taken from this population, the mean life given that 990, that is x bar is 990 and population mean mu equals to 1000. Size of the sample is 26 and clearly given that standard deviation is 20 hours. Now testing hypothesis. Null hypothesis H0. Null hypothesis always says that there is no significant difference. That means the claim is true. That is mean life of bulb is 1000 hours. That is mu equals to 1000. Alternative hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis is the complement of null hypothesis. So mean life is not up to the standard. Now here we can observe not up to the standard error. So this is the keyword. So this is mu less than 1000. Clearly it is one-tailed test. Now level of significance. In this problem not given the level of significance, so we assume alpha equals to 5%. Now using the test statistic tcal equals to x bar minus mu divided by s divided by root n minus 1. Since here standard deviation is given, so we consider this statistic. Now applying the just by substituting the corresponding values, mean x bar of the sample 990 minus mu 1000 divided by standard deviation 20 by square root of n minus 1, that gives minus 2.5, implies mod cal is 2.5. From t distribution table, here the degree of freedom is n minus 1 equals to 25. at the level of significance alpha equals to 5%, we can find T alpha by 2 equals to 1.708. Now, if you observe Tcal, Ttab, coming to the conclusion, clearly mod Tcal is greater than Ttab. If this situation arises, we say that the null hypothesis has to be rejected at 5% level of significance. That means the alternative hypothesis has to be accepted. That is, the mean life of bulb is not up to the standard. Now take another example. A mechanist is making engine parts with axial diameter 0.700 inches. A random sample of 10 parts shows a mean diameter 0.742 each with standard deviation 0.040 inches. Compute the statistic would you use to test whether the work is meeting the specification at 0.05 level of significance. Now in this problem, given that the mean diameter of the population is 0.700, that is mu equals to 0.700, and if we take the sample of size 10 parts, that is size of the sample n equals 10, clearly less than 30, so it is a small sample. The sample mean diameter is 0.742, that is x bar equals to 0.742, and standard deviation is s equals to 0.040. Population mean mu equals to 0.700. Now coming to the testing hypothesis, null hypothesis H0 always says that there is no significant difference. That means the product is meeting the specification, that is mu equals to 0.700. Alternative hypothesis says that the complement is nothing but the complement of null hypothesis. The product is not meeting the specification, that means mu not equal to 0.700. So clearly it is a two-tailed test. Now level of significance clearly given that 0.05, that is 5%. Now test statistic is Tcal equals to x bar minus mu divided by s divided by root n minus 1. Just by substituting the corresponding values, we get 3.15. From the T distribution table, here the degree of freedom V is n minus 1 equals to 9. So T alpha by 2 equals to 2.262. We get this from T distribution table. Now if you observe clearly, Tcal is 3.15 and Ttab is 2.262. Clearly Tcal is greater than Ttab. Therefore, null hypothesis has to be rejected and alternative hypothesis has to be accepted. That means the product is not meeting the specification. Now, coming to the next problem. A random sample of 10 boys had the following IQ: 70, 120, 110, 101, 88, 83, 95, 98, 107 and 100. Now the first problem is, do this data support the assumption of population mean IQ 100? Is the testing hypothesis. Second one, find a reasonable range in which the most of the mean IQ value of sample 10 boys lie. Reasonable range is nothing but the confidence interval. Now first we check the testing hypothesis. Given size of the sample n equals to 10, clearly less than 30 is a small sample. Population mean mu equals to given 100. In this problem, just given data of the sample, so we have to evaluate mean and standard deviation of the data. Mean is nothing but 1 by n into summation I equals to 1 to 10 xi, that equals to sum of the values divided by total number, that gives 97.2, and standard deviation formula is s equals to square root of 1 by n minus 1 into xi minus x bar whole square. Now evaluating the standard deviation, that gives 14.27. Now coming to the hypothesis test, null hypothesis H0 always says that there is no significant difference. That means the mean IQ is 100, that is mu equals to 100, and alternate hypothesis clearly mu not equal to 100, so it is a two-tailed test. Level of significance in this problem is not given, so we take level of significance as alpha equals to 5%, that is 0.05. Test statistic Tcal equals to x bar minus mu divided by s divided by root n minus 1, that equals to x bar is 97.2 minus 100 divided by s 14.27 divided by square root of 10 into square root of 10, that gives 0.02, 0.062. In this problem, standard deviation is not given, so we have to take the test statistic tcal equals to x bar minus mu divided by s divided by root n instead of root n minus 1. Now from t distribution table, for the degree of freedom v equals to n minus 1, t alpha by 2 equals to 2.262. Now if you observe tcal t-tab, clearly tcal is less than t-tab. So the null hypothesis has to be accepted here and the alternate hypothesis has to be rejected. That means the null hypothesis, the data supposed assumption of population mean IQ is 100. Now coming to the second problem is nothing but we have to find the reasonable range, nothing but confidence interval x bar plus or minus t alpha into s divided by square root of n minus 1. Here x bar is the mean of the sample and s is the standard deviation, t alpha by 2 is the value we take from the t distribution table, and square root of n minus 1, that is the degree of freedom. Just by substituting the corresponding values, we get 86.9904 is the left limit and right limit is 107.4095. Now these are the practice problems.